Okay, I'm going to do this video because, let me turn off this television here. It's important. It might take a bit of time, but it's about ending war, poverty, and starvation. It's about the aliens, the voice in our head. It's the truth that God is real. I was gifted with understandings many levels above the little aliens running your planet and your life. The core message here today is God is real, and I wanted to go over that. I can show you through the scientific method reproducible results over and over and over again that we come up to the same conclusion. I want to help you understand that we're overpopulating like locusts, and it's the reason religions keep us separated. And you hear, oh, but there's a population collapse. That's for the systems that exist. We live in an economy. And we should not. Let's start with the economy. Many levels above the aliens, the little aliens running your planet and your life. Many levels above them have placed words before our eyes for us to find. And then that we can start realizing, okay, yeah, it is an econ on me. I talked the other day about quid ditch, money in England, ditch, and the players in that game and what it represents in the econ on me. But with religion, well, you have to understand that we live multiple lifetimes. You're hearing, the CIA and different things are talking alien, or if it's a holographic world, it's not really particles or waves, it's more frequencies. The DMT stuff that people are doing, be careful. Or you can see the code. Whatever. We're going through an evolution from animal to spiritual. At some point, this physical body that we exist in goes away. We go to sleep in this body and we wake up in our next baby body. In the physical universe, picking up more lessons of love. Very important to understand the meaning of life. I can give it to you in 7 simple words. It is a school learning to love. And we're going to go through multiple lifetimes picking up those lessons. That's it. Drop mic. It's not why does God allow this starvation to exist? Why does God allow this to exist? Why do we? We can feed everybody on the planet. We know how to agriculture at that level. But what we don't do properly yet is educate, don't have intercourse unless you want to put a baby in her course. Words with meanings. We're overpopulating like locusts. 200 years ago, population 1800s, the planet hit 1 billion. In 200 years, we've added 7 billion humans to the planet. We're overpopulating like locusts. They don't mind having war. They don't mind you eating foods that don't extend your life. There's a great show called the 2 EYE Light Up Zone. And we'll get to that another point. I'm going to focus in on this right here. God is real. The fact, we can go through scientific method. Understand that as you overpopulate, they have to keep the thumb of the button on war. Religion is alien gifted, but God is real. The devil is the level above you and how we treat the ones beneath us. You have the voice in your head. Those are the aliens. This is a slave planet. Everybody knows this truth who is over 30. They might not want to talk about it. I'm not saying that they have to talk about it. You come to it when you can, but that not talking about it is blocking so much beautiful things from moving forward. Out of the econ on me to the quality of life, self-sustaining community system. Let's talk about the word community. What does the word community mean? I like to wait a couple seconds. Say, nah, wrong, right? what you're probably thinking about are the values and what it means to be, the cultures and being sympathetic and experiencing, the aliens are trying to block my tongue, and experiencing other people's cultures. The word community, it's right there in the word. It means a calm and a unity between people. With an con on me, you will never have a true community because you do not have an equality. You will always have those who have more and those with less looking to get. You have to have an equality. And the econ on me was a baby bottle, baby hungry, was a baby bottle system motivator to teach us how to survive. We now know how to survive so well that we can't afford it. For true protection in the physical, professional protection. I got lost for a second there. Protection, it's right there in the word. Remember, there are many levels above the aliens running your planet and your life have placed these words before us for us to find. Protection. For true protection in the physical, professional protection. It's not AI that's going to save our world. It's having a balance of work and play responsibly. We should be keeping it simple as the aliens tell us to do, right? They have to tell you. They're not going to teach you how. I bow my head and I say, thank you, Lord. I was gifted with those understandings on how to end war, poverty, starvation, to transition out of the econ on me, pulling world governments and world religions together. That is the God's honest truth. It's about not focusing on the econ on me, but actually, it's not socialism. That's a thing right now with Mondami. Mondami gets it. There's something going on wrong. He's trying his best to try to do it right. That's not how you do it. You don't just make it free. It's a transition. I'm going to go over some stuff today. This is some core values, but we should be, I want to touch on that God is real, but I want you to also understand that the econ on me is not the way it should be. Self-sustaining, quality of life, community system, and you can't have true community, a common and unity between people without a leveled equality between them financially. And we have outgrown the econ on me. We used to share technologies that we developed. We got the I can't think of the name right now, but over the wire, the telegraph wire. Beep, 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 beep. The aliens, intelligent. Sometimes they help me. They're known as the angel and the devil on the shoulder. Be careful. Don't blindly follow, because to blindly follow, you'll soon find that you're blind. Allow the light of love to guide our path. Shine the light of love on whatever they're asking you. Don't blindly follow them. They don't like that. And I was gifted with amazing understandings because I chose love. I chose God, not religion. Religion is alien gifted. They're trying to help you be better people, but they're keeping you separated through religion too because we're overpopulating. Don't forget that. We should be doing it. It's not socialism that's going to win, not communism. It's not capitalism. Those were baby bottle system motivators, and then let's see what happens with socialism. It's sort of fair and doing it right, but we're overpopulated. It's why Russia was called Russia. It was rushed a little bit. Communism. What's going to win, not capitalism, not communism, socialism, whatever you want to call it, but community, common unity, and democracy. Let's go over the word democracy real quick. This might be a bit of a long video. Take it in chunks as you do, but please share it with everybody. When we deodorize a room, we remove the odor. When you decommission a battleship, you remove it from service. To remove, right? Remove. Mock, to make fun of somebody. Egyptian sun god, Ra, Re, Amun, right? Still said in churches today, Amen, but we pronounce it that way. Remember Re, we'll get to that in a moment. Demok, Ra, see. Ra means God, and it means those that are worshipped as gods. It's a dual purpose word. You can't force it to. Sack of Ra, right? Sack of Ra, men are at the level of a toe. We make the laws here in California. Sacramento is our capital. We're the governing body. We make the laws. You're going to do what we say. When it's pointing a finger at you saying you're of their ball sack, you're at the level of a toe, we make the rules. That's of those that are worshipped as gods, Ra. It's not a godly Ra, it's levels above. The aliens. Okay. Democracy. Remove mocking God, those that worship at, or remember it's a dual purpose word, God or those that are worshipped as gods. This is a God word. Remove mocking God, Ra. See, vision, understanding when you see something. So this word breaks down to mean, long story short, remove mocking God's vision for us. Simply put, make loving decisions with our vote. Democracy. Remove mocking God's vision, right? Democracy. That's what's going to win. Democracy. People vote. We don't, in America, we don't have it's a republic. We elect officials to represent us, as if we can't do our banking online, as if we can't do cryptocurrency online. I think we can do banking. We got to do it hard copy, send it in by the mail so you can verify, but also we can do it digitally. But we elect representatives for us. That has to change. We're still doing it 1776 style, our voting. Again, it's a transition. It's not drop it like it's hot, the capitalism. Socialism isn't the way either. But I get Mondami wants to make some changes because people are hurting. Everybody knows it, and it's that time. Democracy. It's not, so I wanted to touch on that. It's not capitalism. It's not communism. It's democracy and community that's going to win as we pull this planet together. One of the things that are separating us is religion. So let's talk about the truth that God is real. Let's first hold on to that core, because once you get to come back to this part of the video, because once you get that God is real, you then have to ask yourself the question, if you had a child and they were terminally ill, would you save that child? If you now had godlike abilities. Say that again. If you had a child and they were terminally ill and you now had godlike abilities, would you save that child? Well, of course you would. Do you think that your love for your child is greater than God's love for you? I'm going to show you the truth that God is real. Come back to this point and remember this. We never die. God does have godlike abilities. We go to sleep in this body and we wake up in our next baby body. That is a core fundamental foundation. It's not one and done. It's not heaven or hell. We're all making it to heaven. None of us are good or bad. We are God's children learning to exercise our freedom of will lovingly. That's what life is, a school learning to exercise that freedom of will lovingly. And we're in a world where it's about getting over on each other, the con on me. Not the way to go. But it's getting better. And we're at that day and age. If I have this information, I've not learned this from books, my mind gets pulled to understandings at times. Just like the little aliens running your planet and your life can do, there are many levels above. So please share this video, save it. I'm going to try to do the best I can in this video. But okay, so if you had a child and they were terminally ill, you had godlike abilities, of course you would save that child. Well, you're never going to die. God is going to save you. Now you're like, I'm suffering right now. Blink of an eye. Blink of an eye. They just had somebody shut the door. You know how the aliens do that. It's a blink of an eye, this life. Of course you're suffering right now. But the question is why? Look at the system around you. Look how the human does it. We're keeping the secret that the voice in our head is real. That is when I talk about blocking the coup awful, right? The overthrowing of awful things by keeping their secret. That's the keeper's job in quid ditch. Don't keep their secret. We have to start talking the truth about it. If you can't do that, you're going to continue to suffer. We can get to the community system of quality of life, self-sustaining. They're having some noises outside here, so hang on here. We can get to the system. It's a transition. It takes hundreds of years. Billionaires, your money isn't going to go away. It's a transition out of the economy into the quality of life, self-sustaining community system. That is the future. The economy is not where you've outgrown it and where everybody can see it. Now, let's get to the truth. Through the scientific method, the truth that God is real. I can show you this and it's reproducible results over and over again. Let's get to this. Because this is, we the people make change. It's not, Congress is controlled just like everybody else. It's us who are going to make a change. Okay. Okay, where do we want to start this from? It's a very simple concept. It's about first understanding a thought experiment, the Schrodinger's box, right? That's a thought experiment in the scientific world. Um, you So we can think about things and not have to have a physical experiment if we honestly and truthfully think it through. So this is through the scientific method, we're going to think this through. If you have 4 apples and you take away 2 apples, how many apples are you left with? This is not any kind of symbolism. I'm not throwing any signs or anything. It's just 2, right? People are going to be like, what's he doing there? I'm just saying you have 2 apples. We don't have to see the apples. We can think in our head. 4, take away 2. That's an experiment. Schrodinger's, they're trying to block my tongue. Schrodinger's box. Right? The cat in the box. Is it alive? Is it dead? Spooky. From a distance. Einstein. Let me focus here. I do have believe it or not, I have a gunshot wound to my head. The aliens mess with me at times, but I also can glitch at times. I'll be okay. So we're going to do the thought experiment. Okay. This is such a special topic. I want to make sure that I get it right. And there's so many, we're already probably 20 minutes in. I don't even know. Pause the video, come back to it, take note of the time. Okay. God is real. We know this. It's inherent in all of us. We just are born in an econ on me. Now, the best way to think about it is everything that you know, have, see is a resource, was mined and transformed into metals and smelted in whatever trees. You make a bed or a case or something. Everything has a lineage, a seed. That table comes from a tree, and that comes from a seed, and then before that another seed, a grandpa tree. All these trees, back in time. Everything you see, you can trace back. Everything. So where do we trace this back to? Let's go ahead and call it the Big Bang. Now let's start right there. Everything has a lineage. I ask this question. If a child just exploded into existence, that would be pretty special. If something creates itself from nothing, I'm here to say that's godlike. You don't have to agree, but be honest with yourself. Something that has created itself from nothing. Everything. The word supernatural gets thrown around often. It's paranormal, Ra, remember Ra, Re, Egyptian sun god? That's the aliens. Paranormal, it's very normal for Papa Ra to float something around the room. Flicker the lights on and off, scratch your arm, all right? Make something move. That's a parlor trick, nothing. The aliens, magic is alien tech, paranormal, alien tech. It's just the God's honest truth. But it helps people believe, and they're using that to help you understand there is an afterlife. Now, you're not stuck somewhere. You're off to your next baby body somewhere in this universe, picking up more lessons of love. But let's go back to the Big Bang. Something created itself from nothing. Where did the Big Bang come from? You'll hear things about the pre-Big Bang, the this and that. Great. Where did all that stuff come from? Let's pull it back. Let's call the Big Bang the start, right? Where did that come from? I'm looking at the mirror there behind you. The camera. You, as if I'm trying to talk to my phone, as if it's somebody. You're there. I hope I can get this out properly. It's just the most beautiful thing in the universe. We know God is real. Aliens are trying to twist my tongue. Oh man, they can't stand the truth. I was gifted with stuff many levels above them. The cow is a big alien on this planet. You'll hear Nordics and Beetlejuice, Mantis and all that. The cow, we call this planet GLOW, BULL, global. But I'm here to say they're also cow words. They're talking about making the change. Let's get to doing it. I battle the evil that most roll over for. I battle the evil that the voice in your head rolls over for. I go through pain. This is a campaign to evolve the planet in love, not Camp Tijuana. This is a campaign in love. It's, you know, military and political, they go through hell. Then they'll know what I'm talking about, those leaders, but they usually have aliens backing them. I go through hell. I was gifted with understandings many levels above, but this is Papa's house. Grandpa can teach you all the best stuff, but in Papa's house, Papa makes the rule. This marble, this blue marble earth, that's Papa's, not at his table. And that's, I got the bull. Now they're cow words because they're talking about it, but they're predicted to step up and shine so bright that we call them global. Okay, Glowbull. Don't forget that. And I'll go into religion and to connect some stuff for you in a moment too. But God. So we get to this point where the beginning, well, where did the Big Bang come from? Well, we have pre-Big Bang, this, that. Well, let's just squeeze all that into the Big Bang. Whatever pre-Big Bang. At some point, something created itself from nothing. A very godlike thing to do. The other way to look at it, there's two things you can honestly come up with. Or it has always existed. Now, forever is an easy concept for us to grab. It just never stops. Always? Well, when did that start? No. It always existed. It never started. Always. You're telling me that something always existed? We know that this universe is about decay. And it's going to decay. It's all about breaking down. We're going to transcend that. We go from the animal to spiritual. We're born a bit wild. That word teaches us, sick. Why are we ill? Why ill? We're born a bit wild because we're going through this evolution from animal to spiritual, the school of life learning to love. And we're going through multiple lifetimes. But we're going to transition from animal to spiritual. Stepping from infinity to the E turns into a T, eternity. Push that off to the side. So, something has always existed, right? Something created itself from nothing, or has always existed forever. We can grab. That just never stops. But when did it start? No, it never started because it always existed. So we're now talking about something, these two things. I would love to hear anybody else's other answer, honest answer on what else is there? Something always existed or having created itself from nothing. We know God is real when we come to these two answers. And really, one of the things I was also gifted with was, if you were in a new area and you go up to an officer and you say, "Sir, can you, where's the post office around here?" "Oh, you go this way to Main Street and then you go that way to the post office." If you take a pebble and you throw it in the water, in which way, right, you go this way and that way, in which way do the ripples flow? In all ways. So that word almost could, in fact, be talking on an origin point. Bing, something created itself from nothing. Either way, both of these answers, I ask you, look, never blindly follow anybody. To blindly follow, you'll soon find that you're blind. Allow the light of love to guide your path. I just want to make sure this is recording. I think, yeah, okay. Allow the light of love to guide your path. Don't blindly follow anybody. Think for yourself. Now that's a very godlike thing to do, to create yourself from nothing, or having always existed. Never started, it just always existed. So this simple thought experiment that we can do for ourselves, if we're truth and honest with ourselves, we come to the conclusion that God is real. Then once you grasp that, I'm not here to force you to accept anything, but it's inside of all of us, this truth. This is a scientific, reproducible result in it. Let's think it through. What else? Think it through. So then what is the quality of the universe? What do we see a common theme in? Growth. And when you truly start looking at it, push away all the poverty and the strife and all this stuff that we go through. Love is what we are growing to be. As children, mine, mine, mine. And then we learn to take that worm back to the baby birds and regurgitate it and feed that bird, that baby bird. We learn to sacrifice. Even how we kill each other in war. We have things that are known as Geneva Convention, inhumane to do, unloving to do to each other. Even how we kill each other in war, we have grown in love. Love is the driving factor in the universe. Sometimes it's a backwards love. Spell love, now spell love backwards. E-V-O-L, evil, a backwards love for something, a desire so great to obtain it that we intentionally and willingly harm another to get what we want. Love is the driving force in the universe. We are growing to be more loving beings, just like God. When we allow love to flow through us, God is always with us. 3-lane highway. They got cones, they're coning it down to 2 lanes. Why are you taking 2 lanes away? You know, you're just like, things are pissing you off. You got the blinker. The guy's trying to get over and you're just like, not today, not another thing is somebody gonna take from me. No, maybe the guy behind me will let you in. Same situation, Sunday morning, NPR on the radio, got your cup of coffee. You see the guy blinking over, big old eyes, please mister, let me over. You hit your brake and you wave him over. Same situation. One day something was blocking you from allowing love, God, to flow through us. The other day you were more than willing to allow love to flow through you. We have to learn to nurture that relationship with God. You know, what a challenging thing to love God with all your heart, mind, and soul. You know, Quran, the Vedas, you know, all of the, whatever religious text, it's alien gifted. But what a beautiful thing how do you do that? The best that I can offer is to nurture a relationship with God, is to exercise love and to learn how to sacrifice. And, you know, it hurts so much. You know, those are the growing pains of learning how to love. And do unto others as you would do upon yourself. What an amazing teaching. Okay, so we know God is real. Created itself from nothing or has always existed? Everything else has a lineage, seed, an origin. One thing, call it what you want. That's godlike. I'm not here to force you to accept anything, and especially all these religions, and they're saying, you know, the reason the aliens say, you know, like teachings in the Bible, you know, a man sleeping with a man. That's not my persuasion, but love whoever you're going to love. But back in the days, the horde wasn't getting any bigger if the boys were sleeping with the boys. So at that point, you want the clan, you know, safety in numbers. You want people making babies so that your population can have safety. And we're slowly getting to the point where the church is starting to get like, okay, you know, everybody's allowed to, I don't mind it too much. Oh God, I don't speak for God. As I like to say, I don't speak for God, but I do believe it's His will for us to love each other. Drop mic. I think God loves us all no matter what. Hitler, at worst, Hitler, Manson, whatever horrible person you can think of, at worst, to God, it's a stinky diapered baby. You don't just throw the baby out. You wash the baby. We go to sleep in this body and we wake up in our next baby body. Brand new sponged. The question is, how are we doing it around each other and influence? Influence is huge. Influence is huge. Be mindful of your influence. It is so huge. I can't get that point across enough. But we dirty sponge up everybody with our language, dirty talk, with the television. Oh my God, these poor kids are coming up with everything at their fingertips. And what are they feeding, right? When you're overweight, you're feeding crappy foods to yourself. What are we doing to the mind with the video games and the music? You get it. There has to be a change. But we, the people, have to make change. We have to show that self-restraint in our influence. Easy to put anything out there nowadays. I got a phone right here. I can connect to the world, hopefully. So let's get to religion now. We know God is real. Love each other. None of us are good nor bad. We are God's children learning how to exercise our freedom of will lovingly. Once we identify a threat to the herd, we separate them from the herd. But people being good or bad, we're God's children learning how to love. Okay, let's get to religion. We're all part of a cult, and we cheer for it every day by keeping our heads down and doing the status quo. It's called the cult cheer that you live in. We all have our cultures. And that's just what you don't know. You don't understand our culture here. We do it this way. So we're all a part of it. You want to call it religions, cults. Is it productive? Is it holding a self-sustaining? Are you being responsible? Are you being loving beings? That's what you want to look at in different things that you join. So be mindful of joining any group that isn't respectful, loving, teaching you to be responsible, self-sustaining individuals. Now, the aliens gifted us with religion. And part of what's separating us is religion. But we have to get our population under control. We're overpopulating like locusts, and it is amazingly out of control. The alien just had somebody shut a door. For the system, America, you want to know why the doors were open and the immigrants were, yeah, come on in, here's some EBT, have whatever rewards you want. Because our people, the population is dropping, and to maintain the system, you got to have some bodies. So that's what's happening there. Until we can pull it together, they want those numbers up. So they'll say, you just have your babies. I say we have to pull this planet together. It's a touchy situation, but you better believe we are overpopulating like locusts as the human. We don't have an enemy, we have an inner me. You have to remember the voice in your head is known as the angel and the devil on the shoulder. They're going to tempt and test you to be upset with those others. And we have to learn to communicate. Well, the voice in my head is telling me that you did this. No. They're telling me you did this. No. Now we grow. Now we can start communicating. What is required, of course, is truth and honesty. They're known as the inner me. Know your inner me. Okay? They're known as the angel and the devil on the shoulder. They always will be. They're never going to be a solid one or the other. They're going to be both. Always. Never forget that. And we have to educate our children what's happening on this planet. It, at this day and time, is a slave planet. They want you to do what you're told when you're told. Don't ask questions. I'm going to touch on, you know what, I'm going to put this video, religion, it's tied together with a Catholic. You know what a Catholic is? A baby cow. Right? Glow bowl. I talked cow words earlier, right? They're talking about it, but they got to step up, and they are predicted to shine so bright that they glow. Another alien race that is tied together is the lamb, the goat, the sheep, the ram. There's an alien race. Both of these, the bull and the ram, are alien races. The Lamb of God. There's a reason why Christ is known as the Lamb of God. Let's go ahead and sort of tie religions together. First, let's understand the word religion. You have to understand there were different alien races in charge of this country, that country, doing different experiments. Dictatorship. What happens when you smack them with a stick and just tell them what to do? What happens when you give them freedom? So there's experiments going on, but we the people have to learn to step up and talk the truth that they're here. We're learning to make loving decisions in adverse situations, like talking about something that the voice in your head is telling you, keep our secret. That's wrong. We have to be able to start talking about it. What I recommend is put some sunglasses on, walk down a crowded area. Just because you're the voice in our head does not mean we're your slaves. Love is the answer. Let people look at you weird. You feel that rush, they're going to put emotions through you. Like, whatever emotions. We'll see what you get. Comments below. It's the first time I say that. Anyway, share this video with everybody. Comments now, whatever. Hopefully, the goal is to start not a religion. This is not a religion. Religion I'm just about to touch on. Not bad. It's teaching you about God, but this is about educating the planet that the aliens are here, how they're affecting our thoughts, desires, impulses, cravings, reactions, right? Emotions. They're puppeting us all day long, and it's educating people that God is real. Drop mic. That's it. Love each other, and that they're affecting us, and we have to make change. We can keep it simple and transition out of the economy. I'll go over that another time. But the core foundation and understanding why do we even want change? Because we want better for the kids, and noise outside. We want better for the children. So religion. Let's understand the word. Ra, Re, Egyptian sun god. Remember, Amun means God. It means those that are worshipped as God. Remember, sack of Ra, men are toes. We went over that in this video. If you know what a Roman legion of soldiers is, then you understand the word Re legions. How the overlords wanted you to see, taught their followers They're legions about God. A little different over here and there. But the aliens, they have a pact. There are certain treaties involved on this planet. Why did they do this? Well, because we're overpopulating like locusts and you have to keep the thumb on the button of war. What a better way than, no, you're messing with my afterlife. So people will fight and die for that. Better way is teach them don't have intercourse unless you want to put a baby in her course. Tongue, toys, and tickles. Penis and vagina is not the almighty orgasm. Believe me. And that's the honest truth. Play, have fun. Responsibly. It can lead to baby making. Be careful. We're having kids before we can even afford them, and then in the system we're in, we go off and try to afford them, and they're being left and raised in the wilds. Oh my God. Whole nother topic. We can make change. We can do it. Ray legions. So you have Jewish Torah, right? Torah's the bull. Torah, Tanakh. All these teachings. Torah, the bull. The four faces of Biur. Holy cow in Hindu, right? There's a reason it's called the holy cow. There's a whole, I wanted to say that this is one of the power words I pull in and I go, whoa, your arm is an extension of you. When you become a part of the nation of Islam, right? Remember the Lamb of God, four faces of Biram Ma. Be your ram mother, right? The four faces of the Rama in Hindu. There's a whole religion called Islam. There's a reason for that, just like Catholic is Christianity, Jewish. Jews are like, we don't believe in Christianity. Christ is it. They're all Old Testament, similar beliefs, except for Christ. When you become a part of the nation of Islam, you're known as a limb of the Mu, a Mu's limb. What? You mean like Catholic, like the holy cow? They're all tied together? Global? Yeah. It's about understanding that God is real. The devil is the level above. When we develop the land, devil up. We chop down that tree, that insect, lizard, squirrel, bird no longer have a home, that chimpanzee, that monkey. You stole it. Imagine a bird, its nest falls, crushes the eggs and the babies. Let's just say they were little birdie babies. Gone. Imagine a giant walking down the street. Your family's having a surprise party for you. All your friends, your family, your kids, your possessions, everything you own and love. And there's a giant kicking over houses, just clearing a plot of land to grow its food or maybe build a homestead. Takes everything from you. You devil! They just deviled up the land, stole everything, took everything from you that you loved. We are the devil. As we evolve, we lose fur. It's where the word lose fur comes from. That's a dangerous phrase, lose fur, but we capture these animals, we put them in a prison and call it a zoo. The Fauci experiments, Fauci's trying to help, and they try to, we do things to help. There are covert things that militaries and governments have done that you'll never know. Fauci got caught. I never harm an animal, never harm others. But when you have a child that's terminally ill, I get it. Somebody's like, let's do some experiments here. I'm not here to judge anybody, but we have to make these hard decisions in life. But we do horrible things to the ones beneath us. I don't agree with that. We know enough now. Eat right and exercise. If you want to say goodbye to being sick and ill, ride your bicycle, not a coincidence. You want to guard the internal organs. You want to protect your inside. Eat right from the guard in. Do you know what a guard in is? They teach us through words, many levels above the little aliens running your planet and your life. They just want you, those little aliens running your planet and your life, guess what? They're getting pushed around and bullied like you are. The bull is an alien race. That's why it's called a bully. Just do what we say, right? Those bulls are getting bullied. Beautiful, loving hearts, big-hearted, loving beings. But they also have, sometimes you got to be the one to take the stick and put the discipline down. Nobody wants to be that, but sometimes, the kids, it's for your betterment, is what I will say. I'm not against the voice in our head, those aliens. I don't envy their job at all. And we have to learn to get along. And when this does come out, we have to have a day of amnesty, because the stuff they've done to us, some of it is very nasty, nasty. And for all of us, as long as it's not a continued threat. So that's a very important word, amnesty. I still fight for their day of amnesty when this does come out. As much as I can scream, I've been tortured by them because I chose God over them and I never submitted. It's a painful way of life. Believe me. But I still fight for their day of amnesty. They are the angel and the devil on the shoulder. They're our family too. We're all family, from the monkey to the man to the alien, multiple levels. Okay, we're all pyramid of flesh and bone. Multiple levels. We'll go to sleep in this body and we'll wake up in our next baby body, picking up more lessons of love. Clean sponge, all bright and shiny, and hopefully we're making the world better for the ones that come in behind us. And I get to go over all this stuff because I was gifted with this. I can show you how the refining of the universe and all this stuff. I'm gonna wrap it up here. This has been a very, very, very long video, but I want this to be one that you hold on to and say, man, this guy's trying to do it. He's working on something to try to help this planet transition out of the economy. It's not just making it free, it's a transition, and I can show you how to do that. I want to say love each other. Just hold on to love. And I'll leave it at that. Peace and love to you, truly.